Hey guys, it's Mr. O here. We're just going to go through a Math Unit 1 skill review. This is the second one we've done, but it's the first one I've recorded. So if you're looking for the first video, we didn't record it that time. So some of the skills we're going to go over include place value, different ways to write numbers, comparing numbers, rounding numbers, estimating addition and subtraction, and solving addition and subtraction. So, lots to go over. Let's dive right in. So let's start with a little place value, and we'll do this together, so please follow along with me. Just going to go with blue. So what I'd like you to do is look at this number. This number is 7,654,321. Now, what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to write down this number, and when you're done with that, I'd like you to point to the digit that is in the ones place. Are you pointing at the digit in the ones place? If you are, you should be pointing at the number 1 here. This is the digit in the ones place. Let's move on. I'd like you to now point to the digit in the tens place. In the tens place, we've got a 2. So if you were pointing to the 2, when I said to point to the number in the tens place, you got it right. Good for you. All right, let's move right along. I bet you can guess what's next. We're going to point to the digit in the hundreds place. You knew it. You were all pointing to it. The 3 in this number, the 3 is the digit that's in the hundreds place. Let's keep moving. Think about and point to the digit that's in the thousands place. Yes, we're going in order, and yes, we're moving right along. The digit in the thousands place is a 4. The next place we're going to think about is the 10,000s place. The digit in the 10,000s place is, of course, the 5. After that, we're moving on to the 100,000s place, which in this number, a 6 is the digit in the 100,000s place. And last, but certainly not least, because it's worth the most in this particular number, we've got a 7 in the millions place. Now, I'm sure some of you looked at this and thought to yourself, when he wrote this number, he was just going down from 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I wonder if he did that on purpose. He absolutely did. I did that so you would know that the first digit is the ones. The next digit over is the tens. The third digit is the hundreds, and so on, all the way up to the millions place. So I gave you this particular example to practice with just because I thought maybe it would help you remember your digits for place value up to the millions place. So I hope you liked that review of place value up to the millions. Let's move on. All right, this one's going to be a little bit less interactive, and I apologize for that, but we're just going to do a quick review of how you could write numbers in number form, expanded form, and word form. And yes, it's the same number we just dealt with in place value. Thank you for noticing. So number form is just the way we typically write numbers. So it's right here. You've seen it. You know it. Expanded form is when we stretch out the number to show exactly how much each digit is worth. So the 7 here, because of where it is in the place value, is worth 7 million. And in expanded form, I actually wrote it out, 7 million. The 6 here is worth 600,000. So I added that. The 5 is worth 50,000. So that's why I wrote 50,000. The 4 is worth 4,000. The 3 is worth 300. The 2 is worth a 20 because of where it is. And the 1 is just worth a 1 because it's in the ones place. And then there's word form, where you type it out with letters. As you could see by how small I had to make the font to get it to fit, it takes up a lot of space, which is probably why we usually write our numbers this way, especially when you're talking about big numbers. So that was a quick review of different ways you might write your numbers, or different ways that numbers might be written for you. So I hope that was helpful. Let's move right along. All right, this one's always fun. We're comparing numbers. So I have 3 examples, and then I'm actually going to turn it over to you to come up with a few more examples of your own. So up here in the red row, we've got 823 and 972. So we need to write a greater than, a less than, or an equal to sign to show which is greater. So if you could, copy down these numbers on a scrap of paper, and let's try it out together. So look at these 2 numbers and think, which is the greater? And remember, the open side of the greater than, less than sign goes to the larger number. My teachers always told me to think of it as an alligator that wants to eat the most. So for this one, if you were thinking that 972 is greater than 823, you are absolutely correct. So I put it so 823 is less than 972. Let's move on to the next one. So we've got 900, 900, and 754. So again, you're looking at this, think about the place value, think about everything else you know about how numbers work. Let's see which one is greater. You can put down that greater than, less than, or equal to sign. And now, if you put a greater than sign, you were absolutely right. 900 is greater than 754. Even though there's zeros here, and zeros aren't worth much, that 9 being in the hundreds place really makes a big difference. Place value is a powerful thing. All right, now we've got 770 and 770. So is that greater than, less than, or equal to? Think about it and put down the appropriate symbol between the 2 numbers on your paper. If you put an equal sign, you are absolutely right. That's the same number. So clearly they are equal. So here's another way we can practice. I'd like you underneath those numbers to write down the number 823. And then I want you to come up with a number that is greater than 823. There's so many numbers that are greater than 823. You have lots of choices. There's so many correct answers to that question. Did you do it? Fantastic. Next, I want you to write a 900 underneath that. And I want you to choose a number that is less than 900. Again, there's so many correct answers. In fact, there's 899 correct answers to that question to find a number that is less than 900. And we'll have a little bit of fun with the last one here. I'd like you to write down 770, and then I'd like you to pick another number write it down next to it, and then put the appropriate sign next to it, either the greater than, less than, or equal to sign. Okay, I hope you had a little fun there comparing numbers and getting a bit creative there at the end. So that was our review of comparing numbers. I hope it was very helpful to you. Let's move on. All right, rounding numbers review. Rounding can be pretty challenging sometimes, so I think this is going to be great. So the number we are going to be rounding is 54,321. And yes, I'm just moving right down the list. So first, we're going to round this number to the nearest 10. So first I need to find the tens place. Yep, there it is. It's the 2. And then I need to look next door. I need to look to the right. And then I need to think to myself, is that number 5 or greater? Or is it 4 or less? Now we just did comparing numbers, so we should be able to do that. I know that 1 is definitely in the 4 or less category. So that means we're going to round down. And that means a lot of this number is going to stay the same. In fact, the tens place is going to stay the same, and everything to the right of it is going to become a 0. Okay, so I'm just going to erase that so we can get ready to round to the nearest 100. So now, if I'm rounding to the nearest 100, I need to look at the hundreds place. So first we need to figure out which one the hundreds place is. I know it's this one. And then remember, when you're rounding to the hundreds place, you need to look next door. What's over there? A 2. Okay, so I need to think. 5 or greater, I would round up, meaning that 3 would become a 4. And if it's 4 or less, we would round down, meaning the 3 would stay the same, and everything else after it would become a 0. So I know, because I know how to compare numbers, a 2 is definitely 4 or less. So that means we're going to round down. So to round this number to the nearest 100, it would be 54,300. So see, those 2 digits become zeros. And we're going to now round to the nearest 1,000. So again, we need to think, okay, where is the thousands place? It's right here. So to round, you then look next door, and we have to think, is it 5 or greater, or is it 4 or less? It's definitely 4 or less. That's a 3. We all know that. So now we need to round down again, and the number becomes a nice, simple 54,000. So, funny coincidence, when you're dealing with this number, so far everything rounded down. So that's fun. So we must be experts at rounding down right now. And maybe for our next review, I'll include a number where we maybe round up a little bit more. So that could be some fun. So this was a rounding numbers review. I hope it was helpful. And remember, you could always rewatch this to study. Let's move on. All right, now we're getting into adding. So I'm going to give you a moment, and if you need longer than a moment, you can pause the video for a second as you copy down these 2 problems. Make sure you leave enough space between the two of them. I know some people have bigger handwriting than other people, so you know how much room you need. You are the expert on that. Did you write down the problems? Good. Let's get started. So we're going to start with this one, 42,851 plus 4,359. All right, so first we have 1 plus 9. Well, I know that one, that's 10. So I have to write the 0 from the 10 right underneath, making sure to be very careful with my place value, and I carry the 1 up top. All right, now I'm going to deal with the tens place. So now we have 1 plus 5 plus 5. Okay, I know 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. So I write the 1 from the 11, and I carry the 1 again, keeping that 1 up top. All right, so now we've got 1 plus 8 plus 3. So let's start with 1 plus 8. That's 9, okay. And let's do the counting on strategy to add 3. So there's 9, 10, 11, 12. Great, so we're carrying the 1 again. So I need to write a 2, carry the 1 up top, bring it over. Now I'm going to bring down this comma just to help me keep track of my place value. It's so important. All right, so now we're doing 1 plus 2 plus 4. Okay, so let's see, 1 plus 2 is 3, and we need to add 4 more. So let's just do the counting on strategy. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. I don't need to carry anything because 7 is a one-digit number. And I could just bring this 4 down because I'm not adding anything to it. It just comes down. So the answer to this one is 47,210. So if you got that same answer, fantastic. If you got something different, feel free to skip back in the video just a little bit and follow along with me and maybe see where things went a little off. All right, let's move on to the next one. So for this one, we've got 22,771 plus 7,359. All right, let's get into it. All right, 1 plus 9 is, of course, 10. We know that. So let's write the 0. We need to carry the 1 up top. So now we've got 1 plus 7 plus 5. Okay, so 1 plus 7 is 8. And let's do counting on. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So let's put in the 3 from the 13 there. Carry the 1 up top. Fantastic. All right. So now we're doing 1 plus 7 plus 3. Okay, so again, 1 plus 7, that's 8. 9, 10, 11. So we'll put the 1 from the 11 there. Carry this up top. I'm going to bring down my comma because place value is oh so important. All right, 1 plus 2 plus 7. All right, so 1 plus 2 is 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, it's a 10. Great. So we've got the 0 there. I'm going to carry the 1. All right, so now it's just 1 plus 2 is 3. We know that one. Nice job. All right, so the answer we came up with is 30,130. So again, if you were following along with me, and I hope you were, you should have gotten that same answer. If you got something different, feel free to skip back in the video just a moment and see where your math went a little different from our math. So there's your addition review. I hope it was helpful. Let's move on. All right, we're in subtraction now. So I'd like you to take a moment, copy down these two problems. We have 42,881 minus 9,859. And for our second subtraction problem, we've got 72,421 minus 4,329. If you still need a little bit longer to copy down those problems, just pause the video for a moment and hit play when you're ready to get started. All right, let's go. So we have I almost said 1 plus 9. I'm actually not going to edit that out because I want to show you how easy it is to accidentally maybe add when you should be subtracting. Make sure you pay close attention to that sign. So now it's 1 minus 9. We can't do that. So what do you do when your top number is smaller than your bottom number? That's right, you need to go next door and borrow. So we're going to cross out that 8, and it's going to become a 7. And that 1 is going to come over here to make it an 11. So now we're doing 11 minus 9. All right, so let's see, 9, 10, 11. That's 2. So 11 minus 9 is 2. And you could check your work on that by doing the counting on strategy to add it back up. So 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so 2. Great. 7 minus 5, now that we're dealing with the tens place. So let's see, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, great. So that's a 2. No need to borrow anything because the top number is greater. So that's good. All right, 8 minus 8, 0. No troubles there. We're going to bring down that comma because place value. 2 minus 9. Okay, we've got that situation again where the top number is smaller. So that means we need to go next door and borrow. So this 4 becomes that's right, a 3. And this 2 now is a 12. So let's see. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's 3. And just to double check that, I'm just going to do the counting on strategy to add it back up. So let's see. 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I'm right. It's 3. Good for me. Now 3 minus, nothing. So it just comes down. So the answer to that first one is 33,022. If you got the same answer, that is fantastic, and you are correct. If you tried it on your own and got something a little different, feel free to skip back just a few moments, go over the problem again with me, and see where maybe we got a little off track. All right, let's move on to our next one. So again, it's 72,421 minus 4,329. So we're starting again with 1 minus 9. Still can't do it, so we need to go next door. We cross out that 2, and it becomes a 1. That's right. And now this 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 9, just like before, is 12. No, it's 2. Come on, Mr. O. So 11 minus 9 is 2. All right, 1 minus 2. Can't do that. So we need to go next door. Cross it out. That 4 becomes a 3. And this 1 becomes 11. So let's see. 11 minus 2. That we can work with. So 11, 10, 9. Yep. So we've got a 9 there. Fantastic. That's a 9. It's not beautiful, but it's the number 9. 3 minus 3, 0. Got it. No problem. All right, gonna bring down that comma, keep our place value in order. 2 minus 4, can't do it. So we need to go next door and borrow. That 7 becomes a 6. and that 2 becomes a 12. So 12 minus 4. So let's see, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So I've got an 8, and now before I move on, I'm just going to double check by taking the difference and adding these up, and it should equal 12. So let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, it adds up, it matches, so I'm right. 6 minus, nothing. So if you think of that as a 0, 6 minus 0 is still 6. So the answer to that one is 68,092. So again, if you were doing the problem on your own or following along with me and you got 68,092 as your answer, and if showing your work up here looks the same, congratulations, you got it right. If you got something different, I'd like you to go back, skip back, and follow along with me and see where your work kind of veers off from what we were doing. So that concludes our Unit 1 review session. I'll probably make another one of these just to give you a little variety, but please, I invite you to watch this, rewatch this, take out that scrap paper, do the problems with me, and get all the practice you need to feel super confident in these skills. The more practice you have, the better you'll feel about these skills, and that's a good feeling. So I hope this was helpful, and have a good day.